Hi, I'm Gabriel Flores, aka the one and only Maybe Lee. I appreciate you joining today, everybody out there in Facebook land. This talk show that I put together is very special, and we're nearing the end. We're currently in the finale, and there's one day left of the finale, so stick around, guys. The next couple days is critical for this talk show. During a little bit about the talk show is I present 2 points during the talk show. The first main point is something about myself, knowledge I have about myself, and then the second main point is another topic I pair with it. And that's basically it. Each morning that I air, I gather all of my thoughts and talking points. I write a thesis for the first main point, which is stuff about me. And then I conduct research if I have to. If not, then that's fine. I just gather my thoughts. And so that way, every day at 3:30, I pick up my notes and I review them, study them, get ready to air at 4 p.m. every day, which I start airing for 17 minutes. And we've done this for 40-something episodes, 41 episodes. All of them pre-planned, both main points pre-planned. The only thing that wasn't pre-planned is the personal thesis that I write every morning and the talking points and the research that I do for each of the talking points and the talk show. And I have other goals, such as, wearing the same stuff every day for the talk show, same hat, same glasses, and doing certain things, certain gestures, and using certain equipment. And there's some other targets that I'm aiming for as well, but there's just too many to try to delineate all of them in one episode. But that's pretty much the gist of it. And so yeah, that's why it's special. I put a lot of effort into this, and I hope it's entertaining for you guys. As I said, we're currently in the finale. The finale is like the mountain in my life and features a famous producer. So it's a big topic. It's an important topic, and stuff like that. Tomorrow will be the last day of the finale and the last day of the talk show. So after that, that's no more episodes. That's it. If you guys haven't already done so, go to the playlist where all my videos are located, and check out the other videos if you haven't already seen them already, so you can get caught up on everything we've talked about so far, and so you can learn a little bit more about me. If you're interested about a little bit more about me after seeing this, say this is the first one you see, go to that list and check some more of them out, and see if you can learn something, see if you can get a laugh or something. Hopefully you can gain something from it. That's the overall, that's the main goal here, is to get something that you wouldn't normally get from whatever you would normally be doing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have any other plans. I have a few things I'm going to do after this talk show is finished, as far as adding some music to it or something, and maybe improving some of the content or something. That way for next time, for when next time rolls around, when I want to do something like this, it's just going to help me prepare for next time. So I'm going to do some stuff to help me prepare for next time, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to do something like this again in the future. It's just a matter of time. I always have stuff to talk about and always have interesting ways of doing it, and I always want to be able to present that, and YouTube is a perfect platform to be able to showcase your ideas. So that's why I say in the future I'll probably wind back up here doing something similar again to this. Today I want to talk about what did I learn from my biggest failure and Scott Storch. The finale is 3 days. So if you didn't see the first episode to the finale, which was yesterday, go back and check it out. It's entitled Biggest Failure and Scott Storch video. Review that one so you can see, you know what failure I'm talking about. But today we're going to talk about what did I learn from my biggest failure. So we're not going to really be going into what it was, but what I learned from it is we're trying to move forward today and the next day. So go back and check that out if you haven't already done so. The thing I learned from my biggest failure is that I need to do more when it comes to super important stuff. I need to do more. I feel like I need to do more in certain areas because in the future, which is now, I'm looking back on these things and I'm feeling a lot of failure. I'm feeling down. I'm feeling like I didn't do enough. And so one thing I learned is that if I do more in these areas that are important to me, then I think that's gonna it's not gonna take away the pain of say whatever the failure is. You know, when the failure happens, it's not gonna cure the pain, but what it will do is provide a counterbalance to the failure, that I can think when I'm thinking about it. I can also think about, well, I did this, and this. I did so much to try to make things right in this area, to make things good, to be better, to be good, to make it last forever and ever, to continue doing what I was doing. I did all this stuff. And so it adds a counterbalance for when in the future. That's why I say I need to do more, is because when I'm sitting there in the future beating myself up about this stuff, I can also think about everything that I did to promote my what I consider important stuff. So, you know, it's also about being in tune with myself as well. Being in tune is a full-time job. You have to know it's not as simple as saying, well, this, and this makes me happy, because things are always changing. Those things aren't always available, so you have to, you know, your happiness comes from other areas, or new things come into your life, new stuff happens. And so it's about being in tune with yourself and also being in tune with reality and stuff that's going on around you. I think is another important thing that I learned from this, which is critical to doing more, because I could be doing more in the wrong areas. But like I said, one of the most important things to me in my life is a woman. Is a woman, because a woman is integral in my life. Without a woman, nobody would exist. I wouldn't exist. You wouldn't exist. And so, you know, a man and a woman's just meant to be, and I'm meant to be with the woman. I want a woman. That's my main goal, to walk a path with a woman. So will that change? It will change, because having a woman isn't always a reality. Doesn't mean you can't always respect women and have respect for them, and be conscious of when you're thinking about a woman or reading stuff on the internet about a woman. That's never going to change. And so, but the reality of being able to always have a woman isn't always there. So, the direction of my life would be going will be going in a different direction if that's the case. Which at this point in time, it is the case because I don't really have any prospects in my life for women, but it's my goal to get out there and find a chick. And that's always my goal. But as of right now, it's not something that's immediate. So, but with the failure, I could have done more. Because basically I'm the one who broke it off with my girlfriend. And so in this case, it's a clear-cut case that I could have done more easily. First, by not being the one to break it off, but really, is it really that easy to do that? Because when you feel so strongly about something, sometimes you just don't have control over it, and it just happens. So, but you can always do other stuff to promote your relationship with the woman. So in that case, I could have done more in other areas too that's going to be towards my relationship with my girlfriend. But the biggest thing that's sticking out is me just picking up the phone and just telling her I want to break it off. So that's why I say the biggest thing I learned, the thing I learned from what I learned from my biggest failure is that I need to do more, especially in those areas that are super important. So, I got a lot of work to do, and I plan on doing the work so I don't have to suffer in the future. Scott Storch, the famous producer I was talking about, he's somebody who is dealing with a failure because he fell out of the limelight. He was super rich, and then he went broke because he was doing a lot of cocaine and spent a lot of money on drugs and stuff like that. And because of his addiction, he couldn't maintain his job of producing music, and so he fell off. Basically, he hit rock bottom, and his life was completely ruined. But I wonder. It makes me wonder. Do you think that now, today, as he sits wherever he's at in his house, as he's beating himself up, that, man, I had the thing that I cherish the most is making music, and now I'm not even making music. I'm broke. I don't have any money. But do you think he has a counterbalance in his life where he says, yeah, but maybe I lost everything, but when I was there, I did this, this, and this, so I couldn't have done more. Unlike me, I feel like I could have done more. But do you think Scott Storch is sitting there right now and do you think he feels like he did enough to justify, or at least give him a little bit more comfort as he sits there in his poorer state? Is a question that I was thinking about. And so my answer I came up with is proven by Complex.com, from the website Complex, entitled 15 Classic Scott Storch Songs Every Music Fan Should Be Thankful For, written by C. Vernon Coleman II on June 26, 2015, which states that, and substantiates what I asserted prior, is that Scott Storch did do enough before his failure to justify and provide him with cushioning afterwards, because according to the article too, he had 15 number one singles, and this is on mainstream radio. This is mainstream hits. He had 15 number one singles he produced, and by the mid 2000s, according to the article, by the mid 2000s, he had a strong argument for being the top producer of the decade. And we're only in the mid 2000s at this point, and he's already being thrown up there as a possible best producer of the decade. And there's still, 5 years to go of the decade. But those 15 songs, those 15 number one songs he produced were bangers, and he was in contention for that title. And so I feel like as he sits there today, he feels like he is justified what he did before, because some things are inevitable. Some things you can. It's like, if you stand in front of a boulder down a mountain, you're not gonna stop the boulder. You can't stop the boulder, but you can do a lot of stuff beforehand. And stuff like that. So you can at least say, well, I didn't want the boulder to come over me, but it did. It was just inevitable, and that's one of these inevitable things. Part of it's inevitable, so you can only do what. And so with the things that are out of your control, you do as much as you can to try to counterbalance that. And but anyways, I think Scott Storch did. He did do enough before, and then he happened to unfortunately stumble upon addiction, and he lost in that respect. He lost the overall battle, but he did stuff to try to succeed, and that's gonna provide him cushioning. So thanks for sticking around, guys. See you later.